Cheers. All right, be ready.
Bonus? We're talking about bonus?
Yeah, the fiction
Podcast.
Let's do it. I like that. I don't have anything. I was hoping I had something, and I don't. Just that's it.
So many things that just went through my. First of all, the suspense was unreal. I was so excited that you had something, and then Then we just sat there in a cold, open silence.
Just looked into each other's eyes. Yeah,
this is
usually there's a
podcast.
quote.
Oh, I was going to throw it. This is the Fiction Podcast, and I'm your host, Justin.
And I'm Frank.
There it is.
There it is.
There we
I
go.
loved it. I
Here
love
we
it.
go.
I love it. Here we go.
This is a preemptive episode to hype up the Odyssey a little bit. The movie release. We're very excited. Very excited.
No,
as you can tell, Frank was so excited he didn't even have an opening. He was speechless.
Yeah. I was like, do I quote the actual Odyssey, or do I try and find a Matt Damon quote, or try and get another character in there? And I was like, nah, I got nothing. Let's just talk about it. Let's just go.
Did you have like 3 different quotes ready to go and you just couldn't pick one, or were you just coming in cold and had nothing?
I was gonna. I mean, I could give an Odyssey quote, but I was like, but that's
that's fine.
It's Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, so like that doesn't match up. And then I didn't have any Matt Damon quotes. I was like, yeah, okay, not that.
I mean, I'd have just been like, do you like apples? I'd have thrown something random. I don't know, man. I'm just going. And this is the problem. Now you've let me start this podcast, and it's about to go off the rails.
And we've already sidetracked so much, but I'm gonna say, when you mentioned do you like apples, we're always thinking of like one of Matt Damon's quintessential movies. But I've just seen so many different things on Instagram with Matt Damon lately. And the things that make me laugh the hardest is Matt Damon's best cameo of all time. Now, listen, I'm old. You're old too. So some young bucks, they won't even know this movie. But Matt Damon's best cameo of all time is when he plays a rocker in Scotty Doesn't Know. Scotty doesn't know that Fiona and me do it.
In Euro Trip.
Yeah. Euro Trip.
So good.
It is one of the best cameos ever, in line with Tom Cruise and is it Tropic Thunder? Apple bottom jeans.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so much digressing, but we're getting right back.
We wanted
to do a quick episode.
I don't even know. We're so far off track. We might as well be Odysseus. We have just gotten lost, man. Oh, you like that?
Sir. Wow. Whew, this guy hot over here. Okay. So
you see how I brought that back?
I did.
That's why you keep me around. Every now and then I got something.
So for those who are just like, what the heck did I just walk into? We are talking about the Odyssey.
I don't even know.
Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. It's coming out in a couple weeks. So we wanted to just make sure we did a couple of pre-episodes leaning into that. This whole season 4, has been basically Homer's The Iliad and the Odyssey, and depicting different cultures and different movies that have talked about legendary figures and legendary heroes. And we're leading into talking about Odysseus, played by Matt Damon, and the Odyssey. We plan to spend a lot of time on that. I think once the movie comes out, Justin and I are going to watch it, and then we're going to do an episode just discussing the movie itself. And then we're going to do a couple other episodes bringing in some other themes about, the movie as it relates to the Odyssey and the Iliad, talking about classical studies and classical themes weaved in, and then bringing in other things as well. Our hope is that we can talk about it in different ways by bringing in different themes and different characters, and also bringing in guest characters to help us with you. But the first episode will be Justin and I doing our hot takes, debriefing, hopefully what will be a really good movie, but you just never know. You never know. I mean, how are you feeling right now? Like with all the different teasers and the different previews, and we'll probably put a preview before we have aired the episode. For those who are having it on YouTube, for those who are listening, apologies, we won't do that. But like, I mean, how are you even feeling with the different takes coming out?
I was like incredibly excited for this movie to be released, and I'm so excited. But there's a lot of controversy around it, and there's a lot of just people feedback and, saying stuff that well, whatever it is, like, "Oh, this was cast wrong," or, "Oh, this was done wrong," or they saw, like, the first trailer and suddenly it wasn't good enough, and so there's been I think more negative feedback than I expected at this point,
Yeah.
with it coming out. I definitely wanna see it in IMAX. I've seen
Mhm.
when they show you the difference between the cuts and how the scenes look, IMAX versus just standard. I gotta go see this in IMAX, I know that.
Yeah.
Gonna have to figure out where I'm going. I don't know the last time I, like, forced myself to go see an IMAX movie, but, I'll figure it out, and, so I'm still excited, but it's also because of, like, what we've always said, is just how much we love classics and, Christopher Nolan, Matt Damon, The Odyssey, all of that gets me excited, so I have faith it's gonna be a good movie. If it ends up in the ballpark of how I feel about Troy, I'll be very happy, which
Yeah,
is I
that's
like
funny
Troy a
because
lot.
I like Troy, but, I I don't think Troy's amazing. I think we talked
Right.
about this, obviously, we gave it a grades,
Yep.
but I agree with you. I think, if I still feel the same vibes about this as I did about Troy, I would be happy. I'm like, yeah, I feel like
Mhm.
you can only fail when you
Yeah.
take on something so big and epic as this, right? It it's like there's so many things that could go wrong. I mean, for example, let's say what's coming out in December of 2026, right, of this year, is the new Harry Potter series. Like, if you've been listening, Justin and I love Harry Potter, right? So that is another
Yeah.
example of something that can only fail, right? Like, you've got the books, you have the movies with the iconic characters. Now you're trying to redo it. People might say it's too soon or it's too this or it's
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. There's always going to be haters. And if you've watched the initial or you've read the initial, it's gonna be hard for you to say this tops it, right? It's not like they waited 40 years where, it's a new generation, which technically is a new generation, but
You're talking
still
you're
you've got
talking
the
Harry
old
Potter, right?
generation.
No,
Yes,
you're saying
yes,
Harry Potter. Yeah, yeah.
yes. So I mean,
Yeah.
so coming back to the Odyssey, like, you have someone taking on an epic, pun intended, journey, pun intended, into trying to make this movie. Now, I'm actually surprised at how much, I wouldn't say hate, but they're haters on the
Mhm.
internet and different voices
Yeah.
yappy,
That's
yappy,
just
yappy,
that's just the
yappy.
world.
But here's the thing, I'm surprised because, like, the Odyssey isn't huge, right? Like,
Yeah.
when we look at this in the grand scheme of things, tell me, raise your hand how many people have actually read the Odyssey. Tell me how many people actually care about the
Me.
okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I put myself to that. Yes, I'm talking to the only other, no, I'm just joking. Like
Oh, I mean,
like,
there's only 2 of us here, Frank, and we both read it.
but think about it though, like, I mean, we talked with our classical studies professors in our first episode, and they're jazzed about the project because it brings light to classical studies, but
Yep.
if you go to, like, the everyday person on the street, like, ask me, tell me about the Odyssey, like, half the people be like, guy got lost." Like, nobody really cared too much about it. But all of a sudden, when Christopher Nolan, right, one of the best directors of all time, is doing something and they've hyped it. To be fair, they've hyped it,
Yeah,
right?
they've
They've put
definitely hyped it.
themselves in this boat. Another pun intended. Holy crap, man.
Jeez, oh, Pete, we're just killing it.
But, like, I feel like there's just been so much. I'm just so surprised at that much, at
Yeah.
that level. But hey, bad publicity, any publicity is good publicity, right? So anyway, it's just that has surprised me how much. But I'm excited, and I want to calm my excitement down because I don't want to
Yeah.
walk into that theater and hype myself out and watch it and go, they didn't do this right,
I
they
think
didn't do that
that's
right, you know?
yeah, I think that's fair. I think, I'm gonna go in with expectations of just trying to enjoy the movie.
Yeah,
So, that's what I have to do is I'm gonna have to remove myself or remove the possible negativity of, like, the connotations of what you just said, where I start to pick nits about it because I'm looking at all of the negative or what could be wrong historically. I gotta take that out. And the first time you
yeah,
if you can, and the first time you watch it, you really have to do, probably a good job of just enjoying the film for what it is. It's meant from an entertainment standpoint. This isn't meant to be put on in a classroom, a college classroom where we're going to dissect this, and it's not meant there to teach a college class exactly what happened or how the story
mhm.
goes. It is going to be dramatized. It's going to be Hollywood, and I think it's going to be entertaining. And if you take it at that, and you take it at that level, and you just go because you're just going to enjoy a film on a topic you enjoy, then I think it's going to be a good film.
Yeah. What,
Early prediction B, maybe B
B?
plus,
Ooh, okay.
B plus. That's my early
Hmm.
prediction.
You know what? I'm hoping for a A minus, and I would be satisfied with a B. I'd be satisfied if I can come out of
Yeah,
that movie thinking it was a B.
I was entertained.
Yeah. We'll after we watch it, just initially just give our initial grading on it, and then
Mhm.
then we can talk about it, and then see if that changed. Because I'd
That's
be
fine,
interested to see
but quite
if that
often, my grade will change as we go through, as we're
exactly.
talking
That's
about
why.
it. I'm like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
did like this. Oh, I didn't like this."
yeah. No, I
Yeah.
honestly, I mean, again, I think from what I've read and seen, like Christopher Nolan has taken care to be as true to the I'm putting quotes in source material as possible to make something feel like you're back in that era. Now, the funny thing is we're talking about two different eras. We're talking about whether you're talking about Homer's time period or the time period where the
Right.
Odyssey should have been, quote unquote. So either way, I don't even know the distinctions of that in the finer details. And I don't think the everyday Joe who watches it will, but he has taken a lot of care in that, even with so I'm hoping that it feels good. And then
Mhm.
again, you've got so many good actors in it that I'm hoping that they get enough screen time to make it sing. Now, so with that being said, is there anything that you're hoping, like whether it's the way they tell the story or there's a specific scene, is there anything you're like, please be in there or please do it this way? Like as you're kind of anticipating how the movie's going to come out.
That's tough. I don't know if I have something that I'm like, "Oh, this has to be in here." 'Cause, I mean, it's a long journey. It's an epic poem. There's a lot. I hope they do their best to touch on all the trials that Odysseus faced and on his way home. So I hope they, like, try to keep the bulk of that in if they can do it to a if they can do it justice. Like I don't want them just to gloss over it. So
Yeah.
it's either do it and do it right and show all of those trials or don't do
Yeah.
it all and show his journey home in that way. So I think for me I think that's probably what I would hope for. Because if we get like a montage where we get something that just like rolls over certain things, I'm like just leave it out at that point then. No one would have
Yeah.
known
Yeah.
had you not done it. And so I hope my hope is that they and I don't know because I don't know what how much of this is going to be about the journey or how much of it is going to be about when he gets home and he returns.
Yeah.
I hope I hope the bulk of it is on the journey because
I
that's what
hope
I
so
enjoy
too.
the most.
Yeah. I mean, they can give you some Tom Holland, right, who plays his son. Like they can show some because I think they're showcasing that based on the previews, right? It looks like they're showcasing that a little bit more. What's his face? What's the guy who was the main star in Twilight? I'm blanking on his name. Patterson, Robert Patterson,
Robert
right?
Pattinson,
He's one.
Pattinson.
Patson, sorry, Patson. I always do that.
Yep,
He's one of the main baddies
Pattinson.
in it, and from the previews, it looks like they're showcasing Ithaca and that a little bit more, which I'm okay
I think
with.
that's what I think is going to happen.
But still give Odysseus, right, his
Yeah,
dues. For me, there's two main things. And so we talked about this when we had Professor Schindler and Foss with us in our pre-episode of the season. And they mentioned this. And to me, I think this is one key thing. I hope it's in flashback form, just like in the poem, The Odyssey, where you
yeah,
meet Odysseus as he's like pretty much in his last journey before he hits Ithaca. And so he
yeah,
starts telling the stories in flashback. I hope they do that, not just linear fashion, because I do think that lends you some stylistic credence, so to speak. So I hope they do that. And then the second thing is you're going to be very surprised because I always talk. I, I don't, it's not my favorite genre, but I do enjoy it. I hope they keep Odysseus grimdark. And by
yeah,
that, I mean, if you read the poem, Odysseus is not the nicest or coolest person there. He has
yeah,
major flaws, major flaws. He, he's not a womanizer, but he's not like he's,
yeah.
like he went away for 20 years is like his met. There's a lot of things in there that question him and who he is and what his ethos is. And the question whether or not in true today fashion, is he a Marvel DC hero or is he an anti-hero or is he just some guy? And I hope they keep those elements in the movie and don't just make him into like a PG good guy, because that would take away some of the grit and some of the levels to the
Yeah.
poem. And I think Nolan, again, Nolan seems like a guy who would actually keep him grimdark. So I hope that they do that in that
It
movie.
looks it looks like, I mean, all the previews, I think it looks like it's a pretty dark film. So I think you're gonna get that. I Yeah, I think as we're talking about this, I just wanna reiterate, the whole point of the Odyssey is the journey home. It is the journey.
It's the
It is
journey,
That's
not the
what an Odyssey is.
destination.
It's
It's
right,
the
so
journey,
we had
not the
better get the
destination.
journey. I'm
Yep.
gonna be really now I'm getting nervous because you brought this up and I was like, "Oh god, you might be right." Now I'm getting nervous that it's not gonna be the journey and it's gonna be all about this time on Ithaca. I'm like, "Hold on. That is like the blip at the end." Now I get it. It's a huge part of the story and it's very important, but
Yep.
come on. It's the journey. That's what an
Yep.
Odyssey is. Like, come on. Don't do me like that, Frank. Don't do me like that. It's
Dude,
now I'm
I'm with you. I'm
At
with
least
you.
you're
But
managing
like,
my expectation. At
but
least you're
like,
now managing my expectations.
and it may not be a big because I'm thinking like what I'm thinking it might be comparable here is when the previews for Duke came out, right? There were a lot of scenes where you're like, oh, that might be a focal part about the movie that ended up not being a focal part about the
Right.
movie. Now, granted, there was a part one and part two, so they could catch you back up with some of those characters. So I'm hoping that, like, Robert Patton, like, or even with Tom Holland, like, they're focusing on that, or Anne Hathaway, like, but maybe they don't really have that big of scenes, but they're just showing you that they're in the movie so that you know it.
Yeah.
But it,
Now that
again,
I'm looking at the list, the cast, and I'm seeing who's playing what role, I'm like, "Oh, man, we are gonna be on Ithaca
yeah,
for a long time." There will not be a lot
yeah,
of boat time. I need some boat time.
yeah. But again, if it's not linear and it's in flashback, and then it's correlating to the timeline of when you meet Tom Holland in Ithaca and his journey, and it, it should play out just right. It should. Now, again, we're going to be stuck because it's a movie. It's not a series. If it was a
Right.
series, I wouldn't care as much. But it's a
Never
movie.
gonna get as much as we want.
You're never going to get it. So again, I'm expecting there to be less of the journey, but
Right.
again, keep it flashback, keep it grimdark, and I will be satisfied. I know you've already done the movie and
Yeah,
cut it,
I
so
think that's
you
fair.
can't change it for me. But I'm just saying, if the gods are
They
listening,
might. Well, they were listening when Odysseus decided to be as arrogant as he was.
that's true. They struck him down. Yeah,
So, maybe they are
yeah,
listening now.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah, so I'm
okay.
excited. I'm excited.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
I
All
think
right.
it's
Any
gonna be
parting
I
words?
think it's gonna be a good
Any?
movie. No, I think it's gonna be a good movie. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, I think we're walking into the best movie ever." It's which is gonna be tough, but I think it's probably just because in my old age, have just gotten to have more of a reality check in expectations of what's gonna be released. Like the Hunt for Gollum. I know we're going off to a different movie here, though, that the only thing a Hunt for Gollum can do, which is Lord of the Rings for everybody listening, is cannot live up to the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It can't happen. So if you're going with the right expectations, I think for any of these, they can still be very good, very solid movies, and you'll enjoy it and have a good time. And I think that's what this will be. I think it'll be a very good movie, but I don't think it's going to be like a life changing movie. I think it'll be a movie that we both enjoy. I think it's going to be a movie that we'll watch multiple times. And I think it's a movie that it'll be like, if it's on, we're watching it, or, oh, hey, this just came out to streaming. I'm definitely going to watch this again. Like, it'll
Yeah.
turn into like that kind of movie, I think, where you can just kind of have it on all the time in the background or something like that if you wanted to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's fair. I think so. I think I just need to, like you said, just sit there, enjoy it, turn off my don't necessarily turn off my analytical brain, but just sort of
Right.
dull and numb it with popcorn and whatnot. Because stop thinking about, is this scene right? Did they do that right? And just go,
Yeah.
okay, clean slate. But I will say though, like, if he does it right, if Christopher Nolan does it right, right, I think the greatest adaptations from any director, right, going from book to movies, that they they do stay true to the source, and they add their own flavor to it that sort
Right.
of pulls out the color that you would expect from the book. So as much as they can do that, I mean, totally off tangent, but one of my favorites that I think is true to source, that is just beautifully done. Not the same genre, but I love it. Stardust, the book by Neil
Mm,
Gaiman, and then the
yeah,
movie. It's got Robert De Niro. It's got Claire
yeah,
Danes. I like that. To me is like you fulfilled what you, and they changed some things, but I was like, actually, to me, it actually made it better, which was like, whoa. I'm always like the book is better. So I'm
yeah, me
hoping
too.
that like he does, give us that, but then he can show us what you can do more of in a visual effect than in just an oral story, right? So I'm hoping for that, but I think like as the week gets closer to when I'm about to watch it, I should be like, expect a B minus,
Yeah,
expect a C plus, like just like tell myself not to
yeah,
over
yeah.
analyze it,
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to. I was about to give you this take. I was like, it's either gonna be good or it's gonna be disappointing. Or maybe it'll just be amazing and it'll
But
be
about
life changing. And I was like,
yeah,
that's all over the place. I don't know.
yeah,
It could be
it
any
could be
one of
everything.
those 3.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Now,
I'm
do
I
you
am if I'm breaking it down in percentages, I'm least likely to think this is gonna be some, like, groundbreaking, amazing film that I'm gonna be like, "This is now entered into the A territory." I think that's the
Mm,
furthest from the possibility.
okay.
Like I said, I think most likely is a B, hoping for a B plus. Really, really gonna be upset if this falls into the C category. I will be really upset if that's how it goes.
Do you think this has potential in your mind? Obviously, because we have nostalgia points for this too, but do you think it has potential to be better than a Troy was for you when you watched that?
Oh, I don't know if it will be better than how I felt about Troy at that time because, man, that was, like, right in the midst of us studying, classics, and it was, like, right around then, and we were just, like, deep into it, so it's really difficult to think that something's gonna top how I felt about it then. It's kinda like how I felt about
Mhm,
300 when I first saw it, right?
mhm.
Like, I was super into it, I loved it, I was like, "This is one of the best movies ever," and it's because we were just so deep into studying classics at that time. So I think
Yeah,
it's gonna be really tough to pull that nostalgia back in. However, when I've gone back now and we did it on the season, watched both those movies, I was like, I like this now less than I like remember
yeah,
liking it,
yeah,
even though I still
yeah,
liked it. So I think it has the ability to be better than both of those movies to how I feel about them now. I don't think you can
yeah,
capture the complete nostalgia, but I think there's a possibility that we come out of this and both say, I don't remember what I gave those movies for grades, but The Odyssey was better. I think that is a very possible reality. Also, because just filmmaking has come so far in the last 20 some years that
yeah,
it, it could definitely be a better movie than that. So
yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. I definitely, yeah. I think my only thing for me is like, as we continue to talk, the thing that I'm going to continue to think about is, though the Odyssey is technically smaller than the Iliad, and to be
Uh-huh.
fair, Troy really didn't focus on all the Iliad, they focused on like this part. I think the Odyssey is more apt to be made into a TV series or a mini
Agreed.
series than the Iliad. And so the one thing that's always going to cross my mind is, though I think Christopher Nolan is brilliant, I like pretty much everything he's done. I'm like, would this have been better as a mini series? Which this
Eh,
was a mini series,
yeah.
and they did take a linear line. They didn't do flashbacks, and that was one of my gripes with the initial miniseries, even though I think it's decent. But yeah, that's going to be the one thing. But apart from that, I do think for me, because like you said, because of taking your opposite notes, because of it's been 20 years, it is Christopher Nolan. It is Matt Damon. It's gonna be dark. That's kind of what the previews show me.
Yep.
I do think this has the potential to eclipse where I feel with a Troy or something, because a Troy is more just the scenes, the action. I feel like
Right.
this one, there might be a lot of storytelling that really hits, and that's where I find like things really level up.
I
So I'm
think,
kind of hoping
yeah.
that that levels up.
And that's why I said I think it's gonna outshine because both those movies that I brought up, Troy and 300, are more like action packed and action focused.
Yeah.
And I think the Odyssey is gonna be about storytelling and cinematography and world building. And we have now gotten old to where those are the things that we're like, this is cool. This is beautiful. As opposed to watching Achilles just take apart half an army all at one time, right?
I'm
It's
still
like
okay with that too. I'm
still
still okay with
cool,
that too.
but, now it's like now we'll be like, "Ah, it's just beautiful. Do you see that shot? Like, do you remember how that was done? That's just gorgeous." And it's like, yeah. So we'll notice. I think we'll notice those things too. So I think I'm excited. Otherwise, we wouldn't have done this entire season building up to this movie. So let's see what
Yes,
happens.
yes.
Let's
Let's see
rip.
it.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to
All
go.
right. Well, we'll end it there. Hopefully catch us when we hit the actual review of the Odyssey, and then we'll have some other episodes on it as well too. Hopefully with some fun guest hosts. So we're excited to do that. If you like what you heard, what you've seen, follow, like, subscribe. It really does help. Hit us up at the Fiction Podcast on Instagram, on TikTok, and also hit us up at the Fiction Podcast at gmail.com. That's all I got.
I'm
You got
not even
anything
gonna
else?
say it. Not even gonna say it.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Nope,
On
that's
that
it.
note,
I can't wait.
all right. Cheers.